Welcome back to What This Study Says. After a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly or moth, does it still retain memories from when it was a caterpillar? Today we're doing a deep dive into exactly how memories survive the total biological restructuring of metamorphosis. And our sources today are a landmark Georgetown University study on the tobacco hornworm and, well, a really fascinating interview with an 11-year-old Japanese insect researcher named Joe Nagai.
Yeah, it sounds almost like a philosophical riddle, right? But looking at the biological evidence, the Georgetown study actually found a really clever way to test this. They took caterpillars in their late developmental stage, so like right before they pupate and build their cocoon.
Right, getting ready for the big change.
Exactly. And they trained them to associate the odor of ethyl acetate with a mild electric shock.
Okay, so they essentially taught them that this specific chemical smell means danger.
Precisely. And the remarkable part is that after those caterpillars liquefied and rebuilt themselves into adult moths, they actively avoided that same odor.
Wait, let's unpack the mechanics of this. Metamorphosis isn't just, a caterpillar growing wings. It's basically putting a brain in a blender.
The biological soup, yeah.
Right. The insect digests its own body. So if their nervous system is completely rebuilt, how does a memory physically survive? I mean, couldn't the adult moth just be reacting to, like, a lingering smell of the chemical left on the outside of its cocoon?
Well, the researchers had that exact same thought, so they explicitly ruled out that chemical legacy. They physically washed the pupa to remove any residue from the larval environment. And they also took completely naive pupa, ones that were never shocked, and applied the odor to them.
Oh, like a control group.
Yeah, a control group. The washed moths still remembered the shock, and the naive ones didn't react at all. So the memory retention is truly neurological.
But wait, if early memories from when they are young caterpillars don't make it to adulthood, but these late-stage memories do?
Then there has to be a mechanism, right?
Exactly. There must be some protected hard drive in the brain that simply doesn't melt down during pupation.
You hit the nail on the head. That hard drive is a specific brain structure called the mushroom body. Think of it like a reinforced vault sitting in the middle of a demolition zone.
A vault. I like that.
Yeah, so if a caterpillar learns the shock association late enough in its development, the neural connections form inside that specific vault. During the pupal meltdown, the rest of the brain is pruned away and destroyed, but the mushroom bodies and the memories inside them, they remain perfectly intact.
That is just incredible. The idea that these specific neural pathways can survive total biological destruction is what's profound.
It really is. And that profound realization is actually what bridges us to our second source. Once Dr. Martha Weiss published that these deep-seated pathways survive metamorphosis, it caught the attention of an 11-year-old in Japan named Joe Nagai.
Wow.
Yeah, he wondered if a memory can survive metamorphosis, could it survive reproduction?
I love how a scientific breakthrough can just spark a kid to build a lab in his bedroom. He corresponds with Dr. Weiss, builds his own Y maze out of clear plastic folders, and trains swallowtail caterpillars.
Right, clear plastic folders.
So resourceful. But instead of ethyl acetate, he uses the scent of lavender, pairing it with a mild, low-frequency electric shock.
And he found the same initial result. The adult butterflies avoided the lavender. But Joe took it a massive step further to answer his own question. He bred those butterflies and tested the next generations.
And this is where the implications get mind-blowing. Joe found that not only did the adult butterflies avoid lavender, but so did their children and their grandchildren.
Generations down the line.
Right. These descendants had never been shocked in their lives, but they were naturally terrified of the smell of lavender.
And we can understand this through a mechanism called epigenetics. To use an analogy, think of the butterfly's DNA as the hardware of a computer. The environmental stress of the electric shock didn't change that hardware at all.
So the physical sequence stays exactly the same.
Yes, exactly. But the trauma changed the software. It added a chemical bookmark or turned a volume knob on the DNA in the butterfly's reproductive cells.
Oh, I see. So the physical code doesn't change, but the instructions on how to read the code do.
Exactly. That epigenetic software update is passed down, ensuring the offspring's brain is pre-wired to fear lavender. It shows how trauma acts as a deeply embedded, inherited survival mechanism.
It completely upends how we think about the mind and the body. An experience doesn't just survive an individual's physical transformation, it can echo across generations, which leaves you with a pretty provocative thought to chew on today.
It really makes you reevaluate things.
For sure.
Oh.
If an insect can pass down the fear of lavender across generations through a completely liquefied pupal stage, what deeply buried inherited survival memories might be hiding in your own human DNA right now.
It makes you wonder what invisible history you're carrying around with you.
It really does. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Make sure you subscribe and share the channel, What the Study Says, and we'll catch you next time.